Comics Cubed, where the comic book universe comes alive.
Alright, man. It's your boy, Drew. Your boy, Ubon. Coming at you one more time. Somebody wrote in and asked really me a question. And it was a really stupid question, but,
Well, is it really stupid? It's a question.
it was just a simple question, I should say. And I think simple is a basic question. It's a basic question.
Indeed.
Somebody's like, do you like Superman? Okay, what? Like, do you like Superman? Why are you asking me if I like Superman? We're a sports
It's
blog.
actually a thought-provoking question.
Okay, right. I guess. I mean, do you like Superman? We'll start with you, homie.
You know what?
I mean, everybody likes Superman.
Well, let's step back a little bit.
Right.
Are we talking about comic book Superman?
I'm talking about Superman.
Or are we talking about marketed, movie pushed Superman?
Mama call him Kal-El. I'm gonna call him Kal-El. I'm talking about
I mean,
Superman.
but there are two different versions of Superman.
You
Now.
can answer whichever one you want to answer, man.
I don't like the new Superman.
You don't like the new movie Superman or the new comic Superman?
I don't like the new versions of Superman.
Okay, you don't like the new iterations.
Yes.
What's wrong with them?
I don't feel like they're authentic.
Authentic to the original?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a homer. Again, Cleveland. For life. You know where Superman was invented, right?
Yeah.
And where was that?
Doesn't matter.
It kind of matters.
Why?
It kind of matters.
I mean, we can't make this about Cleveland.
I mean, it's Cleveland, Ohio.
We can't make this about Cleveland.
But it was Cleveland, Ohio.
Everything can't be about Cleveland. That was last year.
I'm just saying.
That was last year.
Just saying.
New year.
It's just a new year. It's a new season.
It's new season.
All right. Let me throw this out there. Superman is kind of my least favorite comic book character ever, and that's saying a lot. I love the idea of Superman, but I think people get caught up with that. I think the problem with Superman is that the idea and the bones are there for something that could be good, and what it ends up being is writer's block. It's permanent writer's block. How do you take a being that is the most powerful in the universe and then say to yourself, let's challenge him? The premise does not match the plot.
That's why I say it's unauthentic.
It can't be, right?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
old school Superman, right?
You can't challenge God.
You can't, right? Would you challenge God with God?
Well, actually.
God versus God?
Well. This dives into a totally separate discussion then.
Not really. I mean, let's talk about that.
Because that dives into this whole thing about what people call free will.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So we've been given free will according to religion to make our own decisions, which include
Liking Superman.
liking Superman or
Right.
challenging an omnipotent being.
Right.
Right? Because we have free will.
Right.
Right? So by that definition, I guess you couldn't say that Superman is challengeable.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as omnipotence with free will.
Indeed.
They're diametrically opposed.
People will argue with you about that.
It's a paradox.
I wouldn't.
It's a paradox.
But people will argue with you about that.
Right. Free will means that how can I be all powerful and there be free will? That's kind of weird.
Well,
It's kind of weird.
That is kind of weird.
It's kind of weird, right? Like,
But you can't be.
I have complete control
I
over
can
this
be.
vehicle, but this vehicle has free will. Right? Yeah. That's the Jesus take the wheel situation, right?
well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get back to Superman in a second. Let's get back to Superman. Actually, you bring up a kind of cool point there. Not to digress too much, but Superman isn't the only book that has had a hard time getting that character down, getting that all-powerful character down. You got to imagine, like back in the day, people writing the Bible like, oh man, whew, he's powerful. He's powerful. All right. Like, what was the editor thinking back then? What was Constantine thinking back when he was like, yo, man, we need to edit this, son? Or the stories we want to tell. Like,
You had to make it
what's going to happen in
humanize.
issue 2 of, like, Genesis, right? You know what I mean?
You had to humanize the whole thing somehow.
Yeah, old school. Like, okay, you're all powerful, so how do you talk to people? I guess I'll be less powerful and be a
Right.
burning bush.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I have to be able to relate to you.
You want to know who got it right, though? I mean, not to equate religion to comic books, because I would never do that. But the Scientologists, yo,
How exactly did they get it right?
They got it 100% all the way gully right.
How
son.
so? How
Dude,
so?
dude. First off, they nailed the origin story.
They have no origin story.
They nailed the origin story.
What is the origin story?
The origin story, obviously, you need to get with your Dianetics,
Indeed.
right?
Because
So you're on an alien planet,
Uh-huh.
where we heard this before. Okay, all right. So
Right.
yeah, it's just Superman.
It's a Superman.
It's just Superman,
Okay,
right?
right.
So you're on an alien planet,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got an evil being, right? So it's Doomsday, right? Planet blows up. All the spirits have to travel somewhere. They travel down to Earth, right? Right. And they make their way into our the human shell, right? And then as time goes on, they're basically living the age-old struggle of what happened on Krypton.
Okay.
Scientology,
Okay.
right? Nailed it.
Except for one thing.
What you got?
Free will.
It's free will.
That wrecks it.
Nah, there's no all-powerful being.
He is the all-powerful being.
Well, Superman
There is one guy who is the
Superman's
all-powerful being. The
all-powerful.
founder, quote-unquote, of Scientology is the all-powerful
Oh no,
being.
L. Ron?
Yeah.
L. Ron?
He is the all-powerful being.
L. Ron Weasley Hubbard?
If you mention that guy's name in the wrong light, you get shot.
Well, that's true for everybody, right? Like, you
Not
can't go to
really.
Chicago and say Michael Jordan's a bitch.
Of course I can.
No.
Depends on
See,
what section.
but see, you're a New
Depends on
York
what
cat.
section I
New
want.
York cats always think they can do that. New York cats think they can go to any
Depends on
other
what
city and
section I
talk
can go
trash.
to.
That's the problem with
You
you
know?
New York cats, right?
Depends on what section I
Well,
go to.
I mean, let's just keep it 100. The Knicks are the worst basketball team ever created, right?
Ouch.
Spike Lee's the worst
Ouch.
director I've ever seen.
What?
Brooklyn and Queens are basically named after the sissies that come out of it, right? The Statue of Liberty is a green monstrosity. I'm glad your towers fell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hate on New York is just not something that's tolerated.
My goodness.
Hey, just saying. Wu-Tang Clan's the worst rap group of all time.
See what you're doing right now.
Yeah, right.
I'm just creating fighting words.
I'm just doing what New Yorkers do to every other city. You just keep it 100 with you.
We at least have a little more respect. for
Again,
that.
you're used to it. You're used to that hate. But L. Ron Hubbard, I mean, let's keep it 100. In almost every
But he
circle
is
outside of
Superman.
Scientology, he's a fiction writer.
To us,
To
who are not
I'm a
part-
Scientologist.
Oh, you're a Scientologist?
Man,
I
born and
apologize.
raised.
I
Born and
apologize.
raised. Born and raised.
To non-Scientologists,
Well,
like
not
myself.
really born. Kind of created. Well, I fell from the
You fell
space.
from
Right.
space,
And
to-
then Zenu.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Right.
So
Right.
to non-Scientologists like myself,
Right. You probably a Scientologist. You just don't know it.
Jeez. I doubt that. Very
Can you be
much.
born again Scientologist?
I doubt that.
Like-
No, you can. I think you can.
Okay.
Otherwise, how do they recruit their members? How do you guys recruit your members? Actually,
Oh, you guys. Is that a racial thing? No.
it kind of is.
Well, I mean,
because you guys are your own race. to some degree.
I'm reformed. I'm reformed Scientologist, more like.
What does that mean exactly?
That means I just like the benefits and none of the punishments. Like,
You can't have one.
like if there's a hot chick and she's a Scientologist,
you're-
I'm a
you're not
Scientologist.
Tom
But if she's
Cruise.
Jewish, I'm
You're
Jewish.
not Tom Cruise.
Nah, but if he has benefits, I'm a Scientologist. Right? He got Katie Holmes.
He did for
Yeah.
a while.
Now Jamie Foxx is up in that. So is Jamie Foxx a
Is
Scientologist?
Jamie Foxx up in that?
Oh yeah,
How long?
like a year and a half, dude. Maybe
Man,
2 years.
Where have I been?
Well, I guess blind as Jamie Foxx was in Ray.
Apparently.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx and Katie Holmes. Yeah, you got the right
Jungle
one,
Fever,
baby. Well, she's where Katie Holmes is from, right?
No.
Yes, you do. Say it.
No.
H-I-O. That's right.
Nope.
The greatest people of all time. Halle Berry, Superman,
Here
Katie
we go.
Holmes.
Here we go.
Little things.
Here we
Little
go.
things. It's
Here
just a
we
little.
go.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
But, back to our original point. Scientology, in all its perfection, had great writers. Christianity, Superman. All right, right now, don't think. Who is the number one villain in Superman?
Lex Luthor.
Now, you said Lex Luthor just because he's the main villain, but is he the best?
Well, you didn't say who's the best. You said the number one.
And that's the number one villain came to you was Lex Luthor. And what is Lex Luthor's powers? Nothing.
You didn't
He's
say
not
the-
even
you
the
didn't-
Batman
you
of
didn't
bad
say the
guys.
best.
He's not even the Batman of bad guys.
Really? You
Let's
don't think so?
investigate. No.
Who's the Batman of bad guys in Superman?
Well, the Batman of bad guys and Superman, it might be a little too specific. But let's just talk about the Batman of bad guys. Let's talk about the Batman
would
of
that
bad
be?
guys. Right? The Joker.
Oh.
They're diametrically opposed. They're
Oh.
the antithesis of one another. Right? Is Lex Luthor really the opposite you want for Superman? a smart human with money. Is Donald Trump really the most powerful villain you can think of? Are you being 100 right now?
Whoa. You just called Donald smart.
Yeah. Enough.
No.
Smart.
No,
Enough.
No. Now, would you consider Lex Luthor genius level?
If he was a Scientologist.
They predicate on being a Scientologist.
Yes, you should have known that. If you read the book,
without
Dianetics.
being a Scientologist, he is what level of intelligence?
He's a 9.9 out of 100.
9.9.
But no,
Donald
I mean,
Trump is nowhere close.
but again,
Then again, Donald Trump is a Scientologist.
but a guy with super strength should not have a hard time with a human.
Why not? He has morals.
A human.
He
This
has
is why
morals.
Batman Superman was terrible. It wasn't the Batman that was the problem.
Well,
It's
it
the
was-
Superman
It
that's
was
the
kind
problem.
of the Batman part. My phone
Well,
notifies me of something.
Yeah.
It was kind of the Batman part.
Yeah, I mean,
because
if we're talking about the movie, that's a different thing. The movie was jacked. But the original comic idea, the idea that Batman is really, really somebody who can compete with Superman in anything,
it's preposterous.
just a little
Well,
bit.
when it comes to strength,
Just period. Superman is super fast.
okay.
So Batman throws a punch. Really? It can land? Did anyone see The Matrix? Did anyone see The Matrix?
At what
It's
point did
not
he
like
throw a
Neo
punch?
was super fast. He
Well,
was just
Superman let him throw a punch.
faster.
Superman let him throw a punch.
In several comics, I suppose.
Exactly.
Like, for real, if I'm going to write a Superman comic, and this is the way I'd write it.
Nobody would read it.
Everybody read it. Everybody love it. And I'd base it in Scientology. Would be Superman is internally like Hannibal Lecter. Like, he's a little cray.
Okay.
And his whole thing about protecting humans, he takes to an almost psychotic level, and he just pretends to have
So
weaknesses.
this will be alternate universe Superman then.
It should be main. It should be canon. It should be as canon as Scientology is for the humans. What I'm thinking is like you really have to get into why is Superman on Earth protecting humans, and why is he having such a hard time beating half of them? Superman's fights, some of his comics should only be 3 pages long.
Indeed. And how much of that will sell? None.
I don't know.
None.
Aren't we
It's about-
very
it's about
pleasantly
telling the story.
surprised? I don't know. I mean, I watch anime. I know
gotta
you
tell
watch
the
anime.
story.
I watch it. I know you watch anime.
Right.
What's the main problem with Dragon Ball Z? What is it?
It just takes too long.
It takes too long. 5 seasons and you've thrown 6 punches. 5 seasons and you've
Right.
thrown 6 punches.
Right. So-
And one of those
so-
punches was practice
but-
because you have
but
to punch
Superman
Krillin.
doesn't quite suffer from the same problem. that
You know what the
Dragon Ball Z
best
suffers
thing about some animes like Hunter x Hunter and a few others are? Sometimes the fights are only a few minutes long. You know what the greatest thing about One Punch Man?
from. It's one punch.
He's one punch.
Yeah,
Is he
that
ever
is-
Two
that is-
Punch Man?
Actually, he did. He
Eh,
did become
shut
two
your
punch.
face. Yes, he does.
He does. It was actually multiple punches. Actually, he
Sure.
did unload a barrage on the last boss.
The last final guy, I get
Yeah,
it.
they-
But
you
in
can't say
general,
ever
his
then.
name is still
You can't-
One
it's
Punch
still
Man
One Punch Man.
asterisk. Is One Punch Man asterisk, right?
Okay.
There's one caveat. There's One Punch Man caveat. The caveat's his middle name. But Superman, are we really saying that One Punch Man is a more powerful being than Superman?
You know what? I think if you mash them up together.
How many times does Superman come to Earth, punch somebody, and somebody punches him back through a building? Really?
Who on earth is punching back through a building?
All right, let me ask you another question.
That isn't a mutant.
Let me ask you another question. How many people have outsmarted Batman?
One,
Really?
the Joker.
Not even.
He has.
Not even.
He has.
Even Last Laugh.
He did.
Not really.
He really did.
I mean, he's ahead of Batman, but
Isn't
outsmarted?
that the same thing?
No. I mean, just being first is not the same as outsmarted. Like, you put the two
How
down.
did you become first? You outsmarted him.
Really? So did I outsmart that girl last night when I came first?
Yeah.
Yo, agreed. I digress, sir. I digress. The floor is yours.
Let's come back to the topic at hand.
The topic at hand. I'm probably going to be a father. But, I mean, the main point is Batman in general is the smartest guy on the block.
Yes.
We don't ever see a comic where the Flash gets outran. Nobody's more wonderful than Wonder Woman, right?
Right.
Nobody's hulkier than the Hulk.
But these are mostly humans. These are mutants, but humans. Right? Superman is an alien.
So he just doesn't know how to do it.
In order to make him more appealing to masses, you have to humanize him in some way. Whether that is him allowing a guy to punch him in the face and him going through 5 buildings before retaliating, that has to happen. Otherwise, nobody's going to watch this. You can't. If he never loses or looks like he's going to lose, nobody's ever going to watch it. Nobody's going to read it. It's going to die.
Everyone makes that argument. Everyone makes that argument. But female NCAA ratings did not go down during UConn's 60 run recently. No one stops watching the Super Bowl because Tom Brady is in it. No one ever watches a double underdog Super Bowl.
With all due respect.
No one was like watching the 94,
Brady,
95, 96, 97
Tom
Bulls.
Brady cannot fry you with his eyes.
That's true. But who watched the Bulls?
Tom Brady cannot
Who watched the
you.
Bulls? And now you're from
Right.
New York, so I get this. So you were a little upset about what every team did to your team during whatever peak you
we
would
don't
call
have to
it.
bring that back up again.
But who watched Michael Jordan was like, you know what? I'm just sick of it. I love his shoes. I love Gatorade.
We did.
But
All New
I'm
Yorkers did.
completely done with
All New
this.
Yorkers did. Because every time he came to
That's
New York,
what's
he
wrong
dunked
with
in
your
that
game
fight.
now. Yes, he did.
Every time he
Dunk,
came,
dunk,
he dunked in
dunk,
the whole
dunk.
team.
Well, honestly, don't you all have to like get a tattoo of Michael Jordan dunking on Ewing from that?
I'm pretty sure it's
Right?
tattooed on our faces. Doesn't
Right,
matter.
like, right. And that is the point. People do love perfection. People love Tiger Woods when he's winning, not when he's losing.
When it's a human being.
Okay. Is anybody more spidery than Spider-Man?
Still a human being.
Right? Okay, so you just want to do aliens?
What I'm saying is, if it's an alien,
Okay.
the writers have to humanize this alien in some way in order to tell the story.
Then
Otherwise, it
B.
doesn't
Clark
sell.
Kent. Superman's still an alien, always winning. This is the problem. That's the problem. Because the problem is he still wins anyway. They just take too long to get there.
Exactly. They have to humanize him in some way.
So-
make him seem beatable in order to draw you into
And
the story.
what's Superman's
If he
biggest
just
L?
kills
Falling
you-
asleep? Superman's biggest L in comic book history is taking a nap. That's the biggest L he took. Hey, what happened? What did Doomsday do to him? He killed him. No, he put him to sleep. For 3 comics, he was asleep. That's Superman's biggest L. You know what Batman's biggest L is? Everyone he loves dies.
Indeed. So let me
You
ask
know
this
what
question.
Spider-Man's biggest L is? Everyone he loves dies. Do you know what the Hulk's biggest L is? Everyone he loves dies.
Okay. So let me bring up the Apocalypse arc.
Okay.
Why was that such a good arc?
The best thing about Apocalypse is that we are led to believe that Apocalypse could be an even match for Superman. And that would be great, except they keep him so far at a distance, so far through boom tubes, so far on a different planet that you don't see him enough.
Indeed. But
So
when he was there,
He-
did
but-
they unleash Superman?
Now, did
Was
you
Superman
get through
unleashed?
the Imperiex?
No, I did not.
Okay, so Imperiex makes Doomsday or Darkseid basically look like a Girl Scout, and Imperiex, the Imperiex saga, it's just a pretty decent arc in DC world before the New 52 and everything else ruined some things. There are some pretty powerful beings in the DC universe, but the problem is they're tangential to Superman and not main canon. That's the problem. They're not mainstream
Well,
to Superman.
they can't make it mainstream to Superman
Right.
because then you take away from Superman.
Who are the greatest?
Superman has to be the focal point.
Name your favorite villains in comics, period. Like, you're gonna get a movie of the villain only. What are some movies you might watch? Like, that's what I mean. Like, entertaining villains.
Entertaining. What would you
Yeah,
do?
all of it. Like, my favorite villain is actually Mr. Freeze. And not
I
the
like
movie
Darkseid.
Incarnation. Okay, Darkseid is not bad. Darkseid's not bad.
Darkseid.
I like Joker. I like everything the
I like
Joker's
Joker.
done.
I like
Right?
Joker.
Right? See.
I would kind of go Bane a little bit.
Bane, oh my goodness, Bane is Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul.
Definitely.
Right, and you see what's happening here? We're naming Batman villains. Batman puts so much work into enemies, and most of the enemies are in some way, shape, or form better than Batman on one level. and Batman has to overcome another. If they're smart, he has to be physical.
What you just said.
If they're physical, he
Listen
has to
to
be
what you-
smart.
listen to what
But
you just
Batman
said.
is
Listen to what you just said.
Batman's a
on,
flawed character.
on one level.
on one level.
If you have a god,
It's the point.
right?
That's
you have a god,
That's what I'm point by point.
and he comes to Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and he wins every battle.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna want to watch that? Nobody. There has to be something that makes you feel like, well, maybe at one level he's gonna be better than this guy, and maybe I'm gonna be invested in
And
seeing
so,
if that's true.
and I'm agreeing with
and
you.
that's what happened.
And who was it? And that's the problem. Who was it? And that's the problem. And you know who you said was the #1 villain that came to your mind when we said Superman to start this conversation? Lex fucking Luthor. You see the problem with Superman? Do you understand now why Superman is probably the worst comic and the greatest comic book hero at the same time? You just don't develop the villains. And I agree, Darkseid is an amazing creation for the Superman universe. He's just not really in the Superman universe. And there's not enough of that. And a lot of the people, like the fact that Darkseid has 2 sons who are both good guys, is
Yeah,
actually a
that
really
makes sense.
cool comic book twist, right? It's really
I
cool comic
guess.
book twist.
I guess I kind of need one of the sons to be a bad guy.
Well,
really,
they were
like,
gonna
worse than
be.
that.
They just both escaped in a weird way. It's actually a really cool story. It's a really cool art.
It's nice art.
Right. And let's look at this. Like, what's the reason that most people aren't super into Green Lantern? Because the bad guy is just a yellow Green Lantern, right? It's just Sinestro. No,
It is just Sinestro.
just Sinestro.
But he doesn't bring anything to the table.
Which is why the comic book, I don't think, is as successful as it should be.
Right.
Now, who's the
you-
Flash's
but
bad
you're
guy?
You're making the same argument for Superman every time.
Mhm.
You're making the same argument. You're making the argument why Lex Luthor actually is his biggest nemesis. Because on some level,
It's not really. I think
mean,
his biggest nemesis
I mean,
overall might be Doomsday.
overall, okay. But Lex on Earth,
Yes. That's just terrible writing. It's just terrible writing.
it may be,
Right?
but
It's
Lex
just
on Earth,
like, okay.
just because of his intelligence.
What's the one thing? Let's go to if you're a Christian and not a Scientologist. What was the one thing that tripped of God in the Old Testament? What was the one thing that tripped of God?
We shouldn't make this a religious
We're
conversation.
not, but we're just the one thing that tripped him up is Eve ate the apple. Like, that's the thing that's gonna trip up your all-knowing, all-powerful God. The apple.
It's free will.
A woman eating an apple.
It was free will.
That's a
wasn't it?
design flaw. And women have been
But
messed
he
up ever
added
since.
the
No, but
design
be
careful there, be careful there.
Right, and you know, like
But
when
he
you look at all
he
these
added
works.
that design flaw.
Okay,
Right?
and I get it,
Because everything can
and
be
I
perfect.
get it, but couldn't we have had like one of the things that you don't get to see a lot, but is in some sort of types of religious doctrine, but it's not biblical, is the war of the angels and the demons. I mean, people are sometimes like there was a whole book, Angels and Demons, right? Sequel to Dan Brown's earlier work, The Da Vinci Code,
Right.
yada yada yada, right? People are obsessed with this. The fact that I know like 97 angels and by name and what they did, and the fact that the Immaculate Conception had very little to do with the birth of Jesus, but was actually the birth of Mary, as told by Gabriel, and which is in your book if you read it. Scientology, though, tells a better version with aliens. Like all that.
Well, the
Storytelling.
Scientologists shouldn't be reading that kind of stuff.
Storytelling is
Scientologists.
storytelling, right? Storytelling is storytelling.
It is.
And I'm not saying fake or real or nothing like that. I mean, no offense to anybody, Scientology for life. But what I'm saying is, good storytelling needs to have good villain. Why do people love The Lord of the Rings?
Indeed.
Right?
Right.
Dude didn't even have a face.
Right. Right. But
Why do people love The Hobbit?
but
It was a
but
damn dragon.
Everything you name.
It was a dragon.
Everything you name.
He wasn't even a bad guy.
Everything you name
Right?
exists in the same realm.
Middle Earth.
Superman.
Oh, what?
Superman is an alien coming to Earth.
All right.
The villain on Earth.
Flip it. Flip it.
Okay.
Flip it. What's the best alien movie?
What is the best?
3, 2, 1. Yes, Alien. I agree. You know why? Because it was a human against a damn alien. And it was the most realistic version, biologically speaking, yay Scientology, of an alien anyone's ever gonna come up with. It wasn't like E.T. phone home. There wasn't no happy ending. Was no glowing fingers, right? Wasn't no Sheldon from Big Bang Theory trying to get back home with Rahana. It was literally an alien trying to eat your soul. All right, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
For a horror film.
Yes.
As a comic book, that dies.
I don't know.
Actually,
Alien
actually
comics.
no. It doesn't die.
Right,
Why
right.
doesn't it die?
Because it's amazing. Right?
If we apply the same theory of Superman
And why does
to Alien,
Uh-huh.
why doesn't it die as a comic book?
Because Ripley made herself on par with the alien.
Okay, so what is Lex Luthor trying to do? Every time he tries to fight Superman, the same thing that Ripley does.
I mean, my kid is trying to get on par with me and steal the cookies from the kitchen. But it's not a comic book. You slap the little kid and you throw him in jail.
But if you
Like,
write,
for real.
if you write,
For
the,
real,
if
for
you
real, for real.
watch, if you read the Alien comic book, this is what's happening.
Like, I get why Batman doesn't kill Joker. I really do. I really do. But as Superman, I would have killed Lex Luthor 4 times already.
Of course he would,
I would have gone back in time and killed him again.
because you're not human.
Exactly.
Right.
So let's get that done. Let's bang it up. Let's move on to some real bad guys.
There are
So
no
we
real
want
bad
to
guys
some
on Earth. You're on Earth.
Then
There are no real bad
Then
guys
call
on Earth.
Will Smith and the other guys in Men in Black and get some aliens here, right? Call Master Chief and open up the Halo. Call, I don't know, whatever
But
RPG
that's
character I
not
created and
Earth.
open up the relays
They don't
for Mass
originate-
Effect.
they don't
Whatever you got to do.
They don't originate from Earth.
Just do some crossovers.
It has to originate from Earth.
Do some
because he landed on
Okay,
Earth.
but okay. So, I mean, do you really read Superman comics? Like, what's Superman's actual weakness besides kryptonite? What's his one fighting weakness?
It doesn't matter.
Do you know it?
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it matters.
Why does it
Because
matter?
you're not qualified for this conversation. That's why. Superman's number one weakness is magic.
Right.
They had to write that in probably. I think it was early '80s when they finally wrote in. And then you had Mr. Mix Split Blit.
Right.
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 And then you had
Make
the
it up,
idea.
right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter?
It kind of matters.
Why does it matter?
Well, the reason I say it matters is because why haven't they then written several Superman verse magic arcs?
Because you can't combine magic with superpowers.
Half the Justice League is magic and superpowers, sir.
Indeed, but it's not a Superman comic.
Done with you, man. Done with you, man. You gotta understand. Look here, and it just bring it all the way back to the point. I love Superman as a creation. His execution is poor. I love the fact that he's going to try to get on that pommel horse and score that 10, but he's scoring threes every time.
I think the fact that execution can be seen as poor is exactly why it's so much successful.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he hasn't had a really actually decent comic ever, and he's still probably the most popular superhero, just lets you know how great the idea of an all-powerful superhero is.
Well, all powerful but humanized, if you will.
Some way. The only thing that humanizes him is Lois. I love the comics where Lois gets her neck broken. He goes cray cray. I love the Injustice Gods Among Them arc. I love that. I love the idea of Superman actually unleashing some things. I mean, why do we watch anime? To see the main character unleash something.
We want to see somebody unleash
We
something.
want to see the unleash.
But this
right?
this isn't the story.
We
it's
want to
all
see
about
that
Superman.
thing.
This is not who Superman is.
Yeah. I mean, Superman Red Sun, you got a little bit of taste of that. But overall, I just have to say, I'm just so heartbroken.
I mean, what was
It's
the
like
real
you-
reason for Superman when it first came out? What was the reason for Superman?
Oh, man,
Why
like
did they write
the original Superman.
Why did they write it?
Oh, that's interesting. Like the original Superman was actually kind of a dick. He was an alien that came to Earth and then did like put the Earth in a police state, and then they revised him.
Wait.
After they sold the character.
Wait. Why did they revise him?
Because it wasn't selling. No.
Wait.
Yeah.
I wasn't selling.
I don't know.
No. You know.
No, I actually don't know. It's 1920s.
You know why it wasn't selling.
It just wasn't popular.
It
No one picked
it
up.
wasn't popular. An alien comes onto Earth
Yeah.
and makes it a police state.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh wait, but then again, this was written for a high school newspaper.
Irrelevant.
I mean, kind of.
Irrelevant.
Kinda.
I mean, the fact that you had to revise that
Yeah.
just tells you what it's all about.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean, they eventually,
You want to humanize them, make them beatable.
if I'm correct, no, it wasn't that they humanized them.
They want to make them beatable.
They changed the art up. They hired an outside artist. And outside artist finally got hired in, and then they sent it off to, which eventually was going to become Detective Comics and then future DC Comics.
Okay.
So this was the kind of the flagship,
Okay.
right? And then they just tried it, and it wasn't necessarily a humanizing effort. They did humanize the look of Superman for sure, because I think originally he looked more alien.
Right.
But the powers back in the day, right? The powers back in the day were very important. Like he couldn't fly, right? He could only jump. His X-ray vision was limited by lead. He had super breath, and he could do ventriloquism, which was the dumbest power ever. He could throw his voice, right? And it wasn't, I don't think, until the 80s where he was really like levitating in air, flight, and then X-ray, like heat vision.
When they were making them super.
More super.
More
Like they
super.
just kept, it was a runaway reaction. And then 90s, it's like, right? I mean, by the 80s movies, right? Superman had the power to turn back time by spinning the earth backwards.
Right. But they always had to make him
More and more and more.
and more
Yeah.
alien.
Yeah.
And even as they did that,
Yeah.
they always had to make him somewhat beatable by a human being.
Man, why are we speaking about that? Like, just, it's so bad.
It's
That's terrible
the
writing.
paradox that goes with Superman.
Yeah, like you saying that he is just cursed with the fact that
Yes.
a
He landed
human
on
has
Earth.
to be able to give
He
him
landed
work.
on Earth, and he grew up on Earth.
Okay, that's just dumb. I can't mess with that. I can't mess with that. It's not your fault.
It is the dumbest
It's,
idea.
well, no, it is your fault. You're not a Scientologist. We fixed this.
You guys actually don't fix this. You guys have the same flaw.
You don't know what you talking about, son. You ain't been you
absolutely
ain't been
right.
where we
I don't know
been.
what you guys have.
Exactly. You don't
Except
know
for
what we
everything I've
have.
seen
Yeah, one day.
and read.
If you can pass the test.
But
You got any
I don't think-
metachlorians?
I don't think
You got any
I don't
metachlorians?
think I want to
You got any
join
metachlorians?
I don't think I
Right.
want to join
Do you
the
know anything about the Force?
I don't think I want to join
Do you
I
do you
think-
have a
I think-
lightsaber?
I think the fact that you're in it is okay.
We have a
And it's
lightsaber.
okay for you.
I got a Millennium Falcon.
Build a lightsaber.
In our version of Star Wars Episode 7, Han Solo's still alive.
Is he?
Yes, he
That's
is.
stupid.
Chewbacca died.
Yeah, that's even stupid.
No, it's not, because he's coming back.
Awful.
In 8.
It's terrible.
No, but like I said, I mean, the fact that it's such bad writing that you have to have a human be able to borrow some flex and give him work is just too much. The fact that Lex Luthor is the gnat that doesn't go away it makes it bad. Like Batman has none of that. There's no villain in Batman.
But
You're like,
Batman-
holy
Batman
crap,
is an
really?
It's an Earth creation.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, let me dig into my database. And when you say Earth, do you mean literally
He's created on Earth.
Earth? So any other planet, we're good.
Yeah,
So,
but that's the problem here.
So what do you call the Green Lantern then?
What do you call him? Where did he come from initially?
It depends. Which one you talking about?
Was that one from Earth?
No, let's talk about the ones from the other. Let's talk about the ones from
Okay,
OA.
let's talk about the one from-
No.
let's talk about the ones from Earth.
OA.
Let's talk about the guy from Earth who got the ring.
Nah, let's not. Let's not.
We don't talk about the Guardians.
Yeah, let's talk about the ones from OA. Yeah, let's talk about the originals. Let's talk about the original Scientologist Green Lanterns. Let's do that. Is that right? So what? They come to Earth, they got to be beaten by Earthlings, man.
Well, the thing is, if they
All right, let's
come
talk about
to Earth,
Galactus. Galactus gonna come to Earth, and all of a sudden, like, oh,
who'd be
drat.
Galactus? Who'd be Galactus?
Silver Surfer.
Who helped him?
Silver Surfer. His surfboard, grinding on that wood, grinding.
Really, Beyonce beat him. Exactly.
Beyonce inspired him.
Inspired.
He inspired us all. Shout out to Jay-Z, Illuminati for life. But yeah, man. I mean,
How many things do you claim, man? Scientology, Illuminati. Which one? Which one is it?
it's all the same.
It's all the same.
Yeah, man. I mean, you would know if you actually came on
Indeed.
Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
The Sabbath.
I've got other things to do.
No, you don't. Not according to our book. Right? I had the new Superman before it even came out, and that one was boring too. So I mean, we're gonna wrap it up by agreeing to disagree. Superman is garbage. Batman's the greatest thing ever written, and I guess there's some Marvel comics too, but we'll see. I haven't seen Logan yet. We'll holler next week.